So, Sheryl, welcome to this impromptu interview. I really wanted to just share with everybody the things that I have learned and some of the great insight and wisdom that you have. Um, you and I met through Women in Cloud. We re-engaged, reconnected as you were building the journey on the Rali platform, similar to mine, but yours is about the fearless female leadership journey. And I realized that there was actually a plan and a process that I could have gone through as I was struggling to figure out if it was time to leave Microsoft. That would have been very helpful to me. So thank you for taking some time with me.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me. Excited to be here.
So the reason I want to share this is because a lot of women actually ask me, how did you make the decision to leave, Microsoft in your executive role and kind of build this new kind of portfolio lifestyle that you lead now? And for me, I think the process really started about 4 years before I decided to actually go, when I was a little torn. And I thought, is it time to go? Right. Now it's a weird time to be thinking that, because I was, promoted into this corporate vice president role, leading a very, very large, influential team that I loved for one of the best companies in the world. But there was a part of my heart that was like, yeah, but so, is that normal? Like, is that the way that these things usually start to happen?
Well, the good news is it's 100% normal. And I've heard that I'm blessed to work with about 6 to 8 female executives a year. And I've heard that time and time again. So it's 100% normal. The good news is that it's exciting time because the universe, or whatever you choose to believe in, you're getting a nudge. You're getting a nudge saying, you know what, you've done an amazing, amazing job to this point, and you're needed elsewhere. At least that's my philosophy and what I believe. But I mean, can you share what was, one of the telltale signs, but also what was holding you back? Why did it take 4 years?
Well, it took 4 years because of some of the mechanics at Microsoft that kind of were at play around that, around financials and stuff like that. But it also took a few years because I wanted to know what I was going to go do. Right? I couldn't imagine not doing anything. But then I was very, very clear that I did not want to go do anything else full time. And so I had to figure out what that would be.
Yeah, and sometimes it's difficult. Human beings by nature are creatures of comfort. And so taking that leap into the abyss when you don't know what's next, something's going to be next, but you don't know, what it is. A lot of times it's really easy just to keep burying ourselves in something that maybe we know that's not quite right. And so it can just be helpful to have a coach. I mean, that's what a coach phonetically is, back in the 1800s, when you would get in a coach, it was to transport you from one place to the next. And so it's really following a proven process to help you get from that uncomfortableness of knowing it's time to move on and passing through the uncomfortableness with a proven process to arrive on the other side with greater impact and joy for the next place that you're needed.
Yeah, I mean, like a Sherpa. I mean, it would have been helpful to have a guide through that. I kind of muddled my way through. I interviewed a lot of people and asked them why they still were working, and then why they had left. And most of the people that were still working said they were still working because they just couldn't figure out what else to do, which I thought was a really crappy answer. So I didn't want to be in that boat. And I am a planner, so I wanted to know, like, what would that look like, and how would I be spending my time? And so I just kind of work my way through it. But like there, so you talk about, like, there's actually a framework for thinking about that, right?
Yeah, well, 100%. And that's what, the journey that you were talking about, fearless female leadership. It's just my proven process and framework. It's been digitized so leaders can, help scale their impact with their female leaders and their team. But yeah, it starts with clarity. And there's a process to gain high level aspirational clarity, which is more about envisioning and less about planning. And then also then doing the pre-work and then moving your way down to very granular clarity and getting to a place where you're ready to figure out the plan. And then also building the confidence around what's next and what's new, and building really a Olympic level confidence for your Olympics, because whatever you're doing next, it's no less important, than the Olympics. It happens to be what's most important to you. And then of course the, third part of the framework is just building strategic based influence so you can gain buy-in from others. But there's just a process, a step-by-step way of going through it. And it's just important to have someone, that is confidential. Like, we're saying it's very difficult to find someone when you start to ideate about this, like, who can I talk to that will keep this confident, and also who can help me navigate through. So those are really the two things that are critical when you're looking to get some help. Just find someone with a proven process, and find someone that will hold you to it and keep the information confidential.
I learned a lot through that journey myself as I was going through it. For anybody who's thinking about what's next, how do you build the next great thing? How do you create impact for yourself? I highly encourage you to listen to and reach out to Sheryl, because she has amazing things to share, and yes, everybody does need a Sheryl the Sherpa in their lives.
Thanks so much, Gabrielle. It's been an absolute honor, and whatever I can do for you or your community, I'm always happy to.